welcome everybody to another episode of So Random and Weird Pod. I am Sarah, your host for today.
And I'm Sheena.
Uh, how are you, friend? How you doing?
Uh, I'm surviving. You know,
Yeah.
it's nice and gloomy outside, just how I like it. So,
Well, it's because of our time differences. It's getting dark here, so I can technically say it is getting gloomy here as well. But it's just because it's nighttime. But was it rainy there or was it?
yeah, it's raining.
Uh, House of Praise, West Coast, Oregon, Washington, you're all up together, all the dark, miserable weather. Yay. But
Yeah,
that kind of will go with, my topic for today. Yay.
yes, you haven't told.
Well, I'm gonna be talking about, the Blue Mist Road, which is here in Pennsylvania. It is called the most haunted highway, um, and it's the real name is Irwin Road. It is located northeast of Pittsburgh. And, as soon as I read about it, I became instantly intrigued. I wanted to do something close, something local, and, I thought, "Why not?" So, yeah, I'm gonna get started here and tell you about the Blue Mist Road.
Okay. I've never heard of it before. So,
Honestly, I never did as well, and so, of course, when I read about it, I was like, "Ooh." Alright. So, the Blue Mist Road is, like I said, it's, in Allegheny County. Its real name is Irwin Road, but it's a narrow lane that is tucked deep into North Park. Just like I said, just northeast of Pittsburgh. It's, by day, it's quiet, it's tree lined. So you're like going through the woods, like you're threading through the woods when you're on this road.
ugh, I hate.
Part of the road,
Ugh.
you're surrounded by trees. It's
Well,
like, yeah, freaky.
the thing is like, so my dad's crazy ex girlfriend, she lived out in the boonies around Harrisburg, and we were driving to go visit her family or something, and she's just like, "Zoom, zoom, 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 zoom," and I'm like, "I'm gonna die."
Well, I have to say, part of Urban Road is so remote that it remains unpaved, closed to traffic, and often deserted. So it's it's really freaky, and then, like I said, it's surrounded by dense woods, so that creates this closed in, kind of eerie feeling as you're driving along the road. At night, a bluish mist envelopes the road, and some say in this mist, horror awaits. I love it. So, like I said, it's, it was a simple country lane, but it's it's so old. There's a centuries-old cemetery that's
Mm,
hidden just off the road with some stones dating back to the 1700s. They're old foundations of houses that have been abandoned for years and years and years that can be found
that's
along the
creepy.
road. Yeah. Yeah, really. It is said that in one of these homes lived a witch who practiced black magic and could open portals to other dimensions. And there are reports of red glowing eyes in the night and shadowy figures in the mist.
Well, if I was able to open portals, I wouldn't be here. I'd be like, "Peace out. I'm going on
Yeah, yeah,
vacation."
exactly, exactly. So, hikers have occasionally claimed to see the figure of an old woman in a black shawl appearing
It's
amid the
me.
blue mist before vanishing.
It's me.
It's you. Others speak of hearing strange whisperings or cackling laughter near the old foundation when no one else is around. During the Satanic Panic of the 1980s, rumors ran wild that modern day witches or Satanist groups were using the witch's house site for animal sacrifices and black
Mm.
masses. There were even unverified claims of pets disappearing or ritual markings found on trees. So, in truth, the homestead may have belonged to an ordinary family. No one obviously really knows, but stories abound. So, it's also talked about that the KKK was very big in Pennsylvania in the early 1900s. Uh, they had about 150,000 Klansmen, in PA at one point in time, and the peak years were between, like, 1915 to 1930, and it is believed that there's a that the because this was so remote, this was so quiet that KKK gatherings, occurred, just off of the Blue Mist Road, off of Irwin Road.
Why
And
couldn't she go after them?
there's one tree in particular that was humongous and used as the lynching tree. So, there are stories of ghostly bodies swinging from this tree. There was a popular dare way back when that if you drove out to the tree and honked your horn 3 times, hooded, robed figures would emerge from the woods, and
Ugh,
ghostly figures would be seen hanging from the tree.
ugh.
Yeah. There is one account that happened in the 1970s where a teenage boy attempted the horn honking challenge with a few friends watching. To their horror, the tale goes, the boy was found dead the next morning, hanging from the very tree, his body bloodied, seemingly a victim of vengeful spirit. Obviously, what happened, who knows? But so I mean, it's important to note that I found that there is no historical record that confirms any activity or racially motivated murders on Orrin Road. In fact, research into the county history hasn't yielded any proof of lynchings there. Nonetheless, the hanging tree legend persists, and explorers in the night, you know, will claim that they've seen things hanging from the tree. So, who knows? But, definitely, I don't think I'm gonna be driving my car up to the tree and honking just in
Hell no.
case, yeah.
I have better things to go look for,
Yeah, yeah,
like like the squonk.
yeah. Of course, there are stories of floating orbs and strange lights, along with the blue mist that occurs. People frequently claim to see ghostly lights in the woods. Of course, these aren't car headlights or flashlights, but small floating orbs that dance among the trees. They're usually described as pale blue or white balls of light drifting at around like head height, bobbing and then blinking out. Amateur ghost hunting groups have snapped photos at night showing unexplained orbs of light hovering in the darkness. Like I said, some witnesses have reported like red glowing eyes peering from the brush for an instant, or a single distant lantern like glow that sways as if being carried by an invisible hand. Of course, once again, skeptics will point out that these could be fireflies, distant house lights, but
Yeah, but
when you're out on Blue Mist Road, though,
fireflies
yeah, I mean, well,
fireflies, they're,
yeah,
like, minuscule, so, like, yeah, you'll see them, but, like, that far away.
but when you're out on Blue Mist Road, there are literally no street lamps around. Any flicker or flash of light in the darkness would be spooky because there's nothing out there. I mean, there are residents that live around the area, um, but, not where these lights are being seen. It is eerie when you're out in the middle of nowhere in the dark and just see, like, lights all of a sudden, like, flashing.
Right.
The blue mist is probably the most seen I don't say apparition, but the most seen, spiritual, questioning, like, "What is this?" And of course, it is the namesake of the road. It's on certain nights, this mysterious blue-tinged mist creeps over the road. It always hangs low to the ground. It's described as a natural fog because it appears even, like, on dry evenings when there's, like, no rain, no moisture. Drivers in the past have spoke about, rounding a bend, and then their headlights are turning everything like a blue, hazy mist. Hikers have watched a wall of bluish vapor, like, roll in without warning. It muffles sound, it obscures the path. Some have said that there is, like, it could be like a moisture from nearby North Park Lake that could drift. into the cool ravine after sunset. I'm sure it can feel very scary when you're out there at night by yourself, but it is jokingly, like, half jokingly, the locals will say that when the fog shows up, it's a signal that the spirits are out. So, it just kinda sets the stage for everything else. But I'd kinda like to see that, but kinda not too.
Yeah, I'll sit at the edge of the road where there's still
Yeah.
lights.
I mean, like I said, I'd love to see some of these things, but then sometimes I'm like, "No, I don't wanna see them." And then, like I said before, there have been stories of cults and covens, visiting the woods. There have been, in addition to the whole clan stories, creepy remnants have been found, like animal skulls, like I said before, a ring of burned down candles, as we know, could be, not necessarily an evil. It could be
Right.
like a protection circle. Strange symbols drawn in the dirt.
And a ring of candles, I mean, that's not cheap.
It doesn't necessarily mean evil. Yes. Like I said, I mean, it could
Yeah.
be like a circle of protection. It could be, I mean, a circle of candles could, yeah. People maybe were holding seances too. I mean, it could just be a circle is more like for protection than anything. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean evil, but
Imagine
people who obviously
some
don't know this will think, "Oh, evil, satanic."
imagine a whole bunch of, like, dumb kids out there with their mom's Yankee candles.
Yeah, I know. So, and of course, like some of those are all rumors and things like that. And but these weird things were found, and obviously questions were asked. So ghostly figures and creatures have been seen. Excuse me. There are stories of a spectral black dog with glowing eyes that has appeared and disappeared along the trail. Some say that he guards the graves or is guiding lost souls. Some have claimed to see a pale, forlorn woman in a white dress drifting near the old cemetery. She's thought to be one of the star-crossed lovers from the tombstone legend that I'm going to tell you about next. There's also been a story of a half human, half deer creature lurking in the underbrush. He's described sometimes as a man with antlers or a deer that screams like a human. Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny too. I was like, a deer that screams like a human.
Okay, that is
The man with
not at
antlers is
all what
creepy.
I that's not at all what I pictured when you said
Yeah.
half man, half deer,
Yeah, you kinda think of like the,
like a
half
centaur,
human, what is that? The
a
centaur.
centaur.
Yeah, that's kinda what I was thinking when it said half man, half deer. I'm thinking, "Oh, like a centaur." And then it's like, "No, the man with antlers or a deer that screams like a human." Gotcha, okay.
Well, what is it? Wendigos have antlers, I think. So, which is that's a native Algonquin, I think. Not Algonquin. It's a native legend.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
that's something.
yeah. I mean, there have always been shape-shifting myths, legends, in a lot of cultures, especially native cultures. So I mean, animals taking the shape of humans, humans taking the shape of animals is not far-fetched, but a deer that screams like human I thought was kinda funny.
There's goats.
Yeah, go oh, like the Taylor Swift, screaming goat, like in
I was thinking more of Thor.
but, I'm sorry, let me I digress. I got us off track here. So this deer man supposedly leaps out to startle unwary travelers before, like, slinking away into the night. It sounds silly like we were talking about, but there have been a lot of explorers who have come running out of the woods saying that they were being chased by something. Um, and in some cases, they may have been chased by something. There are stories of angry local residents who have gotten tired of thrill seekers trespassing on their properties and have scared off these trespassers. There was a one long time resident who was reputed to fire rock salt from a shotgun to frighten meddling kids.
Have you watched Supernatural?
Are they being chased by deer men who scream like humans? Or are they being chased by residents who are tired of people being on their properties. I don't know. But once again, in the middle of the night, in the woods, if you're hearing footsteps that are, obviously that are unexpected or snapping twigs or sudden grunts in the darkness, my mind is fucking gonna go and jump to like, "Oh shit, what's that? Oh shit, what's that?" So,
I'm gonna be gone,
yeah. Yeah. I
especially if
will.
I hear grunts. That no.
Yes, yes. I'm like, if I hear like weird ass noises, no. No,
I don't care if it's Bigfoot, I'm running.
exactly. So there is another story of, the lovers' tombstones. So in the cemetery that I talked about, that's off the side of the road, there is a melancholy romantic legend about 2 tombstones that are leaning in close, like, towards each other. And local legend says that these are the graves of 2 lovers, a young man and a woman, who died tragically apart. In death, their spirits yearn to reunite, and on nights of the full moon, the headstones themselves magically move closer together, inching toward a kiss.
Oh,
The reality is, I think through my research, um, it's they have found that these tombstones are pretty much not a man and a woman. They're from different time periods. It's different, but the story is neat. There is another part of the story that if the tombstones do ever touch, it means the world is going to end.
cool. Let's make it happen.
Exactly. Isn't it already ending? Let me tell you.
I mean, we're
Certainly
5
feels like
seconds
it.
to midnight, so, I
Yeah.
mean,
So like I said, it's still poetic, this whole like idea of these weathered tombstones leaning towards each other, and now it's romantic. But it's definitely they're not lovers, but the story is beautiful and I love the story. And there is a story about the Irwin murders. So one of the biggest legends of the Blue Mist Road is the tale of the horrific crime that occurred called the Irwin murders. The story goes that a father of a household, one of the houses that are, that was along the road that, only the foundation is left on, that only the foundation is left.
mhm.
This father of this household went mad one night. Some say like he lost his job, others say that his wife was cheating on him. Who knows? Anyway, the man in a fit of despair snapped, went into a rage and killed his wife and children. After slaughtering his entire family in their home, he allegedly hid their bodies, stuffing them into the property's old septic tank or well. Some
I
say he
love you
then
so much.
yes, sweetheart, I love you so much,
Let me put you
God
in where
bless.
I poo.
Yeah. And then he shoves them where they should. Yeah, exactly. So some say then after he stuffed them in the tank or the well, whatever, he disappeared into the night and took his own life. Others say his fate is a mystery. But as the legend continues, the spirits of the slain family have been found roaming the woods around Blue Mist Road, unable to rest.
In the shitter. Get us out.
I know. It's like I think I'd be roaming too if I was buried in the shitter. I really
Be
do.
haunting his ass.
I I can't stand talking about poop. I can't even imagine being buried in poop.
No, I would be a terror. I would
Yeah.
be
I
like,
and
"Somebody."
I don't think I'd be very happy. I don't think I'd be a happy ghost. I think I would be yeah, I think I'd be rampaging like the Bell Witch or something. I think, like we talked about last time. I think I'd be like, "You know what? No, screw you. I hate you."
I'm gonna bring the stench with me too.
Exactly. I'd be like raining hell on people. I'm like, "You know what? If I'm suffering in shit, so are you."
Make it rain poo.
Oh my god, yes. Like in that one Evil Dead movie. Oh my god. In the new first Evil Dead movie, and I'm sorry if anyone has not seen this new movie yet. I mean, well, it's not new, it's years old now, but it was the first Evil Dead movie that was made recently with Bruce Campbell. I don't know how much fake blood this studio went through, using in this movie, but it literally they must have said, "How much fake blood can we use in this movie? Hmm, let's see." And they literally had it raining fake blood by the end of the movie. I mean, there was fake blood everywhere. I'd make it rain poop like that. I'm like, "You know what? I'm suffering. I'm doing this to you people too." Anyway, um, I
especially
keep
his
digressing. I'm
family.
so sorry. So, it is said on quiet nights that passerbys might hear like the faint sobs of children or catch a glimpse of a female figure in a nightdress drifting between the trees, presumed to be the mother of the family, the slain mother.
That's too that's too simple.
Yeah, yeah.
That's too
Um,
nice.
so and of course, the very mist that gives the road its name has been linked to this tragedy in ghost lore. People claim that the eerie blue fog is actually a manifestation of those unsettled souls, of those
Manifestation of
shit-ridden
the
souls.
bodies and this is so
Okay,
touching.
I
Bringing it
know.
with me
Bring in the At least the mist doesn't smell. I mean, at least
that we
'cause there's no
know of.
odor. But no, who's gonna stay if there's a shit odor? So be like, "Excuse me, I'm leaving." So, yeah, anyway, oh my god. There is no official record, um, old or new, that talks about a family being massacred on Irwin Road. So, there's no police files, no newspaper clippings, nothing has ever surfaced to support the urban legend. But if you talk to a lot of the local residents, as to what makes Irwin Road creepy, they will immediately say the Irwin murders, or the murders that happened. So, I mean, it is in their lore, it is in their stories, their history. It's historical fact to them. You ask any
Right.
teenager.
Well, it's kind of
So,
like the Mountain Springs Hotel.
yeah. Yeah. And ghost hunters, visiting the site at night will claim they can sense a dark presence near one of the crumbling foundations. And insist it must be the spirit of that crazed patriarch.
It's
I
not.
mean, seriously,
It's not the presence.
yeah, yeah. And others leave offerings or say prayers to honor the family who was lost. I mean, it's really embedded into into the history um of Blue Mist Road. So, um, yeah, it was really there was two boys, Ryan and Matt, two young men, I should say, not boys this was, from a story from 2020. Two young men, wanted to drive on the most haunted part of the road, which was that 5-mile unpaved part of the road, like I was telling you about.
Mhm.
So they moved the fences and did what they started driving onto this unpaved part of the road, and they started seeing blue orbs coming from the woods towards them. And, I mean, I think first of all, if I saw this, I think I would be like, "Nope, sorry, I'm going. I'll see ya. Bye." And, the one gentleman who was driving, Ryan, he slammed on the brake, and there in front of them, in the middle of the road, was the dark figure of a man watching them. Then the mist starts to roll in. The blue mist starts to roll in. So, needless to say, Ryan shipped the car into reverse, and so he could turn around, and they sped home. So, whether or not, that's true, I thought it was creepy. And then there was another story that I found of kids who were once again they packed into their the buddy's car, they sped off for North Park, they got to their destination, they turned off the headlights, slowly rolled off the main road and onto Blue Mist Road. They were the only car in the park. They turned off their lights. The trees were hanging low, very close to the car.
Do they wiggle to and fro?
So w- the mist starts to slowly creep in, swirling around the headlights, then up and over the car. The gentleman says he recalls looking up into the trees overhead through the thick fog and seeing countless bodies strung from branches of the trees. He said, at least that's what it looked like. He quickly averted his eyes and didn't look up there again. Eventually, they came to a gate. They went through this gate and continued on. A little further in, the brush on the side opened up, putting an end to the constant hissing, and they decided to get out and look around on foot. There was an old
Yeah,
cabin ahead.
that makes sense.
Exactly, that's what I would do. I'd get out of the car. Why not, you know? So, there's an
I've
old
seen that
cabin up
movie.
ahead. There was a cabin up ahead, up the hill and to the left of the road. They said, "Looking back, it's eerie how much that cabin reminded the writer of the Blair Witch Project." There were 2 structures, actually. One was little more than just ruins. They entered the still standing shack. Um, a pentagram in red paint, he hopes, and candles, jars full of grotesque looking things, old ragged tomes were strewn around the floor. One of the boys reached down to pick up one of the books when there came a creaking from upstairs, followed by slow shuffling footsteps. The boys froze.
Raccoons.
The shuffling continued, moving from some unseen room above us and headed for the top of the stairs. The middle section of the stairs was completely collapsed, so it was impossible to get up there, at least via the steps. At the top of the stairs was like a circular window with no covering that let in a little bit of dim blue light reflected from the fog outside. They all stood there frozen, looking up towards the hazy blue portal at the top of the stairs. They claim they saw the silhouette of an old gray woman materializing in from the right. She was facing left at first, but as she turned to face us at the bottom of the stairs, I saw the blue light reflected in her milky white eyes. They were completely white. Her mouth was open in an evil grin that said nothing of kindness, but it spoke entirely of bad intentions. At this point, the writer says that he's like backing up, waving his arms slowly at first, then frantically. Let's go, he mumbles to the rest of his friends before turning and running out the door, shouting, "Let's go." His friends followed in his footsteps, but he didn't check to make sure they were coming. Halfway down the hill, running for the car, he hears a whisper carried on the wind. Come back. Don't leave me. He leaps into the backseat of the car and is beating on the driver's side headrest, like, come on, come on, come on, as his friends scramble down the hill and into the car.
So, he wants somebody to drive who's not in the driver's seat. Yeah, there you go.
I'm pretty sure I would have gotten in the freaking driver's seat and just left my friends. If I
No,
saw
right?
that, I'm not sure, like I said, this was just a story that I found. They're speeding away. Um, he's holding the door shut, holding from the inside, speeding away. But yeah, it's supposedly that's one of the stories that an explorer wrote while exploring the woods on Blue Mist Road. So there have been several stories that I found, YouTube videos exploring Blue Mist Road. So I definitely encourage anyone to check it out. Um, I
I would, but during the day because I can't drive at night.
Yeah, I mean a lot of the things that I found have not really been proven, like the witch's house, which I guess these boys discovered, were had found, you know, who really lived there? Was it a woman who was a single woman who maybe she was an herbalist, medicine woman, and of course people maybe were scared of her because, she was a strong, independent, single woman who could do things on her own without a man. Well, we fear those women, and even in this society today, those cat ladies.
Me,
I look at you, yeah. I'd be one too if I didn't have my kids.
to be honest, all furry animals are welcome.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
It's just that in my time of life and the way things are, cats are
cats are a little
easier.
easier. Cats are a little easier, they're a little more, they're independent. Yeah, so I mean, there is a cemetery that's been proven. Some of the stones date back to the 1700s. That's proven. Like I said, the murders, nothing has been really proven with that. None of the, None of the, KKK rallies and lynchings have been proven. So a lot of it is hearsay, a lot of it is speculation, a lot of it's folklore. But there are verified elements. So like Urban Road is indeed an old, partially abandoned road. Like I said, with a genuine pioneer cemetery. So I mean that's real. It was truly closed off by authorities and remains a dark, secluded place at night. People have really ventured there to scare themselves silly. And occasionally I've gotten into real trouble, whether from accidents or from irate locals. But I mean, none of the things that have ever been discussed, you know, have ever really been verified. So is it imaginations? Is it did stuff really happen there that was never documented? I don't
Is it
know.
because it's part of the Appalachian Trail or Appalachia,
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
even though like it lacks, evidence, it is still spooky. I mean, here you have this road that is just secluded and surrounded by all these woods and like this deep dense woods and this blue mist that supposedly comes out from nowhere and covers everything. And so yeah, I mean, and there are other stories that are close by, like in the Pittsburgh area, like of the Green Man and the Green Man Tunnel, which I actually looked at doing as well, which I may do next time. Um, because that was interesting as well. I thought it was an interesting story or interesting folklore legend, and I wanted to share it, and it's local, which I loved. It's from Pennsylvania. I think I'd like to visit. I would, maybe during the day. Maybe during the day.
Yes. Only because I'm night
Maybe
blind.
maybe dusk. I don't know. I'd like to see the fog, but I really don't wanna see a man standing in the middle of the road staring at me. Yeah.
This is just I wanna say so many supernatural references, but you wouldn't get it.
I know, I know.
Oh,
Someday,
we'll get
hopefully.
there.
I've not given up on it, I've not.
Yeah.
I have to I have to actually have Tyrion help me here, figure out when we talked about doing the supernatural thing, Tyrion came in the room,
What's that
about
thing?
filming me watching and helping with
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah.
I can do that.
We wanna do that, we wanna do that. So we'll do that.
Supernatural is
We're
awesome and the
we're
best, and
yeah, I mean, we're not that tech savvy, but Tyrion's pretty good with this whole tech stuff, so
I'll be the cameraman that, like, literally never dies. Like, have you ever seen those videos, like, where they're, like, filming and, like, they're like, "Oh my gosh, there's I think I see a man down that hallway." And they're like, "Run, run, run," and the camera guy hides, and the ghost doesn't even go for him.
no, but that's okay.
You
You
haven't
can
seen that?
you can be the cameraman who never dies, and I'll run screaming from the room.
And I'll be laughing.
I know you'll be laughing because 'cause you'll think it's hilarious, although you'll probably be peeing your pants if there is
I
a ghost
would.
there. I know you would.
I would,
I know you
actually.
would. You'd be screaming too. I don't wanna hear that shit. You'd be like, "Ah!" Be
And I'd
running
be
first.
yelling.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I'd be
I'd be
yelling
probably
going,
I'd be
"You
peeing
don't
my
have the
pants
right to
too.
do anything."
My old lady bladder, I'd pee my pants. I know I would.
Well, see, I've come up against something which I'm saving for whenever we start finally getting, like, stories, because I will include it as one of my stories of experiences of something that wasn't good. You know what I did? I just turned on the light and walked in, and then went into my room and cried.
Yeah,
So,
I am.
I'm I'm not afraid to go and do things, and, of course, that was when I was a naive little 19-year-old just fresh out into the real world. So but yeah,
Yeah.
no, I just went, "Flip on the light. Oh, it's running away. I still need to go that way. Flip on the light."
Yeah. Like, okay, well, I'll continue, I'll go in.
If I
Yeah,
die, I die, and then I don't die.
I don't know if I could. I think I would have to give it a little bit of time. I think I might have to be like, "Okay, you know what? I can wait a little bit," maybe not, that important. come back in a few. Oh, I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
I just
I
go in and I'm like, what's up? Oh, this is scary, but I'm gonna continue on."
yeah, I couldn't. I think I might, just turn around and, come back in a few, you know? So, I'm such a wuss sometimes when it comes to shit like that. Like I said, I think I've said this before, but, like, I love to experience something. I've always wanted to, something visual or not maybe not even visual, but, like, sense or, like, something auditory, something that, like, gets in my senses, whether it's a smell or sound or doesn't necessarily have to be visual. But then I think to myself, "Do I really want to?" Because I think I'd pee my pants and then I'd be terrified, and I don't think I'd ever be right again, and, I think I'm okay being in the dark when it comes to certain things. Like I said, I had an experience at Gettysburg. There was one time where I was outside of my parents' house on the sidewalk, like, right by Main Street, no one around me, and there weren't a lot of cars going around, like, on the road at that point in time, and I remembered smelling cigar smoke, and I looked around because I'm like, "What the hell? I smell cigar smoke, but there's no one around me smoking. There was no one around me, period. Like, and my grandpa used to smoke cigars. And, he died back in 1995. And it made me wonder if maybe he was my guardian angel or he, was just
Checking in.
stopping by to say, hey, that he was thinking of his little lollipop because that's what he used to call me because he was a sucker for me because I was the only grandbaby. And it gave me this really nice feeling, like this really nice, warmy feeling that maybe he was there. I mean, his death was really hard on me when he died. First of all, I lost two grandfathers within a week of each other. Dad's stepdad died the third Monday of August of 1995, and his funeral was on a Thursday. That following Monday, my grandpa Izzy died, my mom's dad, who I was talking about, who smoked cigars. And then his funeral was on that following Thursday. So within a week, I lost 2 grandfathers.
Hmm.
I wasn't as close to my grandpa Cleet, my dad's stepdad, I wasn't as close to, but my grandpa Izzy was like a second father. He I'm gonna cry. Shut up, Tyrion, because I know you're gonna laugh. When my grandfather retired, because my parents, as you know, had trouble, like, conceiving,
Mhm.
when they started trying, and I was their miracle baby. And, like, my mom had had a few miscarriages before me. And, like, when my grandfather retired, he kind of lost his not his will to live, but, like, he kind of lost life, he kind of, like he sat and he watched TV, and he didn't really do a whole lot, and, I mean, when he retired, he really kind of lost his way. And when my mom found out she was pregnant with me, um, she wanted to wait to tell my grandpa because she didn't wanna get his hopes up. And, my grandmother was like, "You need to tell him soon. He's gonna wanna know." When she did go to tell him, he was sitting in the living room in his chair watching TV as he always was, maybe sports, baseball, I don't know, he loved the Phillies. And my mom went into the living room and she sat down and she's like, "Hi, grandpa, how you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm good," not realizing what she said.
Right.
And it took him a moment, and that when he found out, he was so ecstatic, and immediately he went out to his wood shop and he started making things for me. I knew I was gonna cry. God, Tyrion's looking at me. Tyrion's looking at me cry. Uh,
What is up with
he
our grandparents and wood shops, though? My grandfather had a wood shop. It was scary as fuck. I hated going down there because he had a
well,
wood shop down in the basement.
oh, that's creepy. Well,
Yeah.
my grandpa's wood shop was in the garage or the barn when it was, behind the house, and, he made my crib for me. He made this beautiful rocking chair. It was the rocking chair you have, that black rocking chair that's painted, the little black rocking chair that guys used to sit on when you were little.
Have his desk in my room.
Yeah, that was when he was a kid, that was his desk, yeah,
That in my
and
room.
he was born in 1914,
I
19
still
1915,
like, speaking of
14.
that,
Yeah.
like, I get really weird chills when I'm around that desk. Like, I'll get, like, cold, but,
Mhm.
like, it could just be,
It could be it's
'cause I
old,
doubt
I mean,
well, I mean, like, I'm not like, I get actual shivers if I start, like, getting cold, so I don't go over there much.
okay. I mean, if you want it out of your room, we can definitely move
Israel's
Israel, yeah, Izzy. But,
Oh,
um
I have an idea of writing a book.
So no, I mean, it's very I don't know, it was very the smell of the cigar smoke though, it really it was powerful for me, and so I liked it, but I don't think I'd actually ever wanna see like, I don't know if I'd ever actually wanna see my grandpa, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I get the sense that that was definitely just him just popping in to
Yeah,
visit, but
yeah.
see, the thing for me is I've before when I was younger, I could see things, but with being raised Mormon and, that's not supposed to happen it's gone down to just being clairsentient. Heaven knows I do not wanna smell anything. You never know what
Well,
you're gonna smell.
like I said smell because I did like the tobacco smell. I've always loved
Right,
tobacco. Well, the cigar smoke, cigar smoke.
right.
I wanted to clarify that because cigarette smoke
Yeah,
reeks to high heaven.
yeah.
Cigar smoke has always been I don't wanna say an aphrodisiac. I don't
It's
know, there's
comforting.
something about it. There's something
It's
about it.
it's a comfort pleasure. You
It
get
is.
you
It's like this, like, I wanna take a deep breath. That is actually the only thing when Mike was still smoking, that was the only thing I allowed him to smoke inside the house. I said, "Anytime you wanna light up a cigar, you go for it." I actually bought him cigars. I would go to the Renaissance fair sometimes, and they had, like, those liquor-soaked
Mhm,
cigars, and I would buy him these liquor-soaked cigars so that he could light them in the house, and I could, lean in and smell those
mhm.
smells, you know? It was but, I mean, it smelled so good. Now pipe is, ugh, and cigarette is, horrible.
Yeah.
Unless it's the clove, but that's bad
Bleh.
for you, not worse for you.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
yeah.
see, for me and I've told you this before, uh, but because especially since I've always been, around a lot of, graves side services, I always would have, um, this feeling of air rush around me, and, like, my hair would be, like, all in my face, but nobody else would be experiencing it, and it would
Hmm.
always be towards the end of the service.
So, like, maybe something coming at you?
Or somebody at the end of the service, whoever it's for, leaving. I'm not sure. If anybody has experienced that as well, let me know. Yeah, that's something that I've still encountered when I've because well, let's see, the last funeral I went to was my grandfather in 2013, and that happened while while they were playing taps
Yeah.
for my grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember it at my brother's funerals and my grandparents, like,
Yeah.
anytime.
Well, I I I've like I said, I've never seen anything, but I've so many of my mom, my Aunt Janet, my Aunt Ruth, my grandmother, they've all seen things, and especially right at the time of death or right after, which is a little creepy. Like, my Aunt Janet, I remember when my grandpa died, my Aunt Janet was staying with my grandma, and they were in an apartment, my grandmother's retirement, a retirement apartment, so it was like, 2 rooms. It was a, little kitchenette, a galley kitchen, and a living room, and then a bedroom and a bath, really small. Um, but when grandpa died, my Aunt Janet said she woke up to see her my grandpa's mom, the ghost of my grandpa's mom, standing in the doorway from the living room into the bedroom, like, looking in, like, towards the bedroom that my grandma got, and they already knew my grandpa had died, but it was kind of like my Aunt Janet said it was kinda like a way of, like, my grandmother Elizabeth saying, "He's here. He's with me.
Mhm.
It's good. Don't worry about him."
Right.
And, I don't know, I just gives me shivers. Um,
I've seen my cats, like, when I
have you?
usually, I see them in my dreams,
Mhm.
but, like, last night, I saw Sylvester in my dreams.
Sylvester,
Yeah,
little black
but
and white cutie.
when I first moved here, a couple of months after moving here, Dane, my cat that I had recently,
No,
he was on my pillow. Like, I looked up and I was like,
he's visiting you.
so that's what I've mostly seen has been pet.
I'd love to see, like, Squirt. I look at Tyrion because Tyrion claimed Squirt, even though I don't know if you really remember Squirt all that much anymore. You do? I know, I miss Squirt Ball too.
No, it was mine.
Oh, jeez. Okay, she was yours, not mine, sorry. I've
Yes,
been corrected. And of course, Rascal.
Rascal was mine too.
Oh, you don't even know
No,
Rascal, please. He was my brother growing up. He was my fur brother.
He was my fur
Oh,
brother.
he's your fur uncle.
exactly, he's your fur uncle. He's fur unk. But, yeah, it's like I said, my at least on my mom's side have had moments where they've seen, but I'm okay with not really seeing a whole lot unless it's my fur babies. I'll see my fur babies. Yeah.
You know
What if I
what?
were sleeping and I just stood right beside your bed staring at you until
No,
you
we're
woke
we're
up?
not doing a paranormal activity thing. That's no, no.
No, that's how you get kicked in the face or in the
Exactly.
groin.
Although, my mom said my daughter apparently did that to her. And she stayed over my one time. I was like, "Oh my god, my daughter's gonna give my mom a heart attack and kill her." But apparently, like, my mom was in bed and, Arya's, like, standing next to the side of the bed. Now, possessed children have always freaked me out. Always, always, always. When Tyrion was a baby, he freaked me out because he was so stoic looking. And, like, he was not he was very, like, solemn, very dour. And I c and of course, when, Mike was off gallivanting around New Holland, at his, magic, things. I was home alone with Tyrion at night, out in the boonies, um, and I swear, in my mind, I thought if this kid all of a sudden just, like, turns and, like, gives me, like, this evil look or grin, I'm gonna shit myself because, oh my god. I mean it was horrifying. I was yeah. So evil kids have always kind of, possessed kids stop. Have always and he likes giving me weird possessed looks, but now they're just funny looking because he's funny looking. But no, my mom was like, "Yeah, Arya was standing there in the middle of the night, just, like, staring at her." And my mom startled awake, and she's like, "Oh my god, Arya, what are you doing?" And I forget what Arya wanted. But, she didn't say anything. She wasn't trying to wake my mom up. I was like, "Oh god. Don't kill Nana. Please don't kill Nana."
Me and Elliot, I remember me. I think I might know the explanation for that.
Oh.
Well, me and Elliot, obviously, like when we were younger, I remember us when we were when we were hungry or something, or like we wanted food. Like we would try to sneak into your room and try to wake you up, but we'd be too scared to get in trouble. So we just
Oh.
like stand there, kind of like thinking, what are we gonna do?
So you
Then
just stand there like statues in the middle of the night, like, "Oh, god, no.
it's also
Let's not do that. Let's,
like
thankfully, you guys are big enough now. You can go downstairs and you can get your food and you can take care of yourself,
You're
and
like
it's
cats?
lovely. Yes, well, you can, but you don't. That's the difference. 'Cause you're lazy.
So,
All right.
well,
What do you got?
anyways, speaking of creepy kids and ghosts and past pets, your topic next is paranormal.
Woohoo! Paranormal. Okay. Sweet. So now I get to think about what I want to do for paranormal. All right. Okay.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
you can do creepy kids.
Yeah. Oh, no. Possessed kids. Yeah, that
So,
freaky,
yeah,
like,
I've
what?
got
I was gonna say, what's your topic again?
my topic
Is it true
is
crime?
new. Yes, it is. It is true crime. And I am going to be doing dumb criminals.
Dumb criminals?
Dumb criminals.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
Dumb criminal?
Yes, I love it. Oh my god. My dad and I used to love reading about dumb criminals.
Mhm.
The stupidest, like, I mean, like, these people shouldn't not even be allowed to breed. They're so stupid. I love it. I'm
Mhm.
so excited to hear that. Oh my god.
Yeah, I figured, we've been doing a lot of heavy stuff. So, and
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though I wanted even though I still want to do the story, the Cassie Joe starter story, I just wanted to take a break and do some dumb criminals.
Yeah. Well, I might have a I might have a suggestion for you. There was a was it Tennessee? A Tennessee man, I think, that who was arrested for fornicating with a dead deer along the side of the road.
Eh,
He was caught red-handed fornicating
Literally
with a dead deer along the side of the road. I
Should I
think it was
say?
Tennessee. I think it or Kentucky. It was
somewhere in the Bible Belt.
one of those questionable states, where sister brother relationships, no, I'm just kidding. So, yeah. Yeah, Alabama too. But yeah, it was a news article that I read and I was like, "Wow. Wow, that's
Yeah,
fantastic."
well,
That's fa
I
Can
have
you
one.
imagine people, "Oh, what'd you get arrested for?" I was having sex with a dead deer alongside of the road."
Nice one, dude. Welcome to the
Yeah,
club.
claim. But I mean, yeah, there are definitely, yeah, some great stories. I can't wait to hear. Can't wait to hear.
Yeah, and just to prove a point that, men will stick it anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, at least in Tennessee. Yeah, at least in Tennessee or Kentucky. I can't remember which one it is. One of the ones in the middle. The red one's in the
In
middle.
the Bible in the
Yeah,
Bible Belt.
yeah. It wasn't West Virginia. I think it was, like, Kentucky or Tennessee. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was fantastic. So, I
Well,
can't that's exciting.
so, yeah, next week will be fun. We can laugh and oh my god.
I'm gonna have to not drink, I think, when I listen to you snort soda or iced tea or anything out my nose as I'm listening. So,
Yes, and hopefully I won't be, sounding as gross as I am either. We can laugh and I won't die from laughing.
yeah. Mhm. Awesome.
Alright, and so
Alright, well,
that means that we're wrapping up. So remember to like and rate us on wherever you listen to us. Leave us some comments. Get onto our Facebook. We want your stories of freaky things that have happened, whether it's true crime, paranormal, alien, you know, or, whatever stories you want to send into us. So that way we can start doing our monthly true events. And then also because, like I said, I am holding out a story of one of the biggest things that has happened to me with the paranormal.
really? You're throwing that
I
in here
am.
right now. You're throwing that
I
in here.
am. I am.
So
Listen,
now
we
what?
need to
We're
have
supposed to suffer? Is that it?
yes,
We're supposed to
yes,
wait and
exactly.
suffer. Oh, sin. Torture
Yes.
us. Okay.
This is a call to action. okay? Email us, email us, send us out on Facebook, send us those stories so that way we can
Yeah. Yeah,
tell
we
them.
we we wanna hear from you. I wanna know if anyone's ever visited Blue Mist Road. I'm really curious, because I've never been to Western Pennsylvania. Well, I'm sorry, I lie. I have been once as I was driving through to Ohio. But, I've never been really to that part of the state, and I'd love to hear. I know we have some friends who are in the Pittsburgh area. I'd love to hear if any of you have ever visited, um, Irvin Road. Have you seen the mist? Have you seen, the people hanging from trees? I mean, I'd love to hear your stories, or just any stories in general that any legends or myths that you've heard of, you've actually seen, witnessed. I'd love to hear it. Let us
Yes.
know.
Yep. So find us on Facebook, Instagram, email us at so random and weird pod at gmail.com. Yeah, pretty much.
Thank
I mean, I have my own handle for Instagram, but I never use it.
you.
So I don't, but yeah, but hit us up so that way we can start building our community too. We're here for the strange and weird things that happen, and everything's
And
so
the random
random.
crap.
So,
The random crap, yes.
yes.
We love it
So,
all. We wanna hear it.
yep. So,
All
love
right,
you,
everybody. Love you
nerdlings.
guys. Yes, thank you so much for listening. You take care. We'll see you next
Love
week.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.